And that night, we had praise and worship in the chapel, and I just remember telling Jesus, I said, if I can just touch the hem of your robe, I'll be healed from this addiction. On the way home that night, my friends and I were drinking and we were driving home, and we got into a really bad car accident where we ended up tumbling down the edge of a freeway, and one of the girls, 16 years old in the back, got ejected from the car, ended up dying. I broke my back in that car accident.
Parents got divorced when I was about 8 years old. Really didn't understand why. Just saw my family fall apart. A lot of anger. That's the first time I realized that my anger really started to surface was during that time. And I joined the Marine Corps after that, but I still had some issues. Still smoked weed, still drank, even while I was in the Marine Corps, and I got kicked out of the Marine Corps, got discharged. That eventually led me down a dark path for, almost 10 years. I just felt like I really couldn't bounce back from it. So I ran from God again. I ran, and my life got worse, and that's when I actually started to get addicted to methamphetamine. I did it almost every day. I was actually on an ankle monitor. I didn't have anywhere to go, and the apartments I was in, it got to the point to where I started having seizures and my addiction. Scariest thing of my life. And right then and there, I knew if I didn't get help, I was gonna die.
And I just remember the first time they gave me the IV of the pain medication in my arm, and I loved it from the moment they gave it to me, and from that moment on I became addicted to opioids, and my brother and sister were smoking Oxycontin at that time. They started Oxycontin, and they told me, this is going to help your pain, try it. So I tried the Oxycontin, and from there on out it became an addiction, and then when we couldn't afford the Oxycontin anymore, we got into heroin, and so for 6 years I was addicted to heroin.
And I remember one time I had a conversation with my dad. I was like, Pops, man, it just feels like God hates me. And he was like, well, man, he said, God loves you. Why would he want you to go through this? And I knew I had a problem, and I knew it was something to do with me, so I sought help.
I got in a fight with one of my ex-boyfriends, and I thought my world was over, and I was on Seroquel at the time, and so I tried to swallow this whole bottle of Seroquel to kill myself. And I remember my brother was there, and he came and he hit it out of my hands. And from that moment on, I was just like, what is my life? What am I doing? I never thought I could be different. I thought even if I just get clean, I still have to live with myself, and I was always the problem, and I didn't want to. That's part of why I did drugs, was to numb my own emotions and my feelings and to get away from myself, to not deal with my problems.
Then shortly after, I entered the doors of Teen Challenge, and I ran into this man named Jesus, and he just really let me know that he was holding my hand throughout my entire life.
I didn't understand why I still struggled, but so many people were set free the first month of coming in, but I still wanted to use. And so I told Jesus that over and over, and I just felt his presence so strong. It's when they say, taste and see that the Lord is good. That's that moment I had. And so from then on out, I felt free from the addiction. I was done. I never went back after that. I was set free, and I knew from that moment on that I wanted to bring hope to hopeless people.
And I love being a teacher advisor because I see men coming in with these same scars and these same bruises that I used to live in. And I get to point them to Jesus. I'm able to share the gospel message with them.
Someone who was hopeless, just all I wanted to do was steal and get high, and that's all I cared about. And now all I care about is bringing people to Jesus and helping them to find a relationship with him. It's just, I don't even know who that person is anymore.